So the next one shows, the next slide shows our attendance numbers. Every month when the organizers get together, we share the attendance figures amongst the organizers. And I thought it'd be kind of nice for everybody to see, you know, as a full group. So you can show the next slide, Mike. These are our attendance totals from January till now. And if you all recall, we went weekly the first week in January. So we had been meeting monthly, and so it was a big transition to go weekly, and we were a little concerned, is this going to work out okay? Our average attendance when we were meeting monthly was around 30 to 35. Sometimes we get as high as 40, you know, as an average. But since we've gone weekly, we've had really great attendance. I mean, as you can see here, you've got averages pretty close to 30 all the way across. I actually gathered up the average numbers here, I'll tell you. January's average attendance was 27. February's was 27, right around March. April was 27. Even I cut out the weeks that we didn't meet. We went up to, and we have gone up to 29 in June. So our average has actually increased, partially because of June 10th being a pretty busy one. So we're right about that high 20s. And then this is some Facebook information just to show you our Facebook likes. As of today, we're about 415, and we started out in the low 300s in January. So it's just steadily climbing as we go along. The news about 1 million cups is spreading. The on the road activities that we've been doing every second Wednesday have been expanding our networks too, which is awesome. And you know, reaching out to more and more entrepreneurs, letting them know we're here to support, we're here to help. I thought that was kind of cool. I just share. So let's get to know each other. So I thought we could do this in alphabetical order by first name, and go around to basically just go around the room and introduce yourself. Let's plan on about 2 minutes each, right around in there. If you go over 2 to 3 minutes, should be fine. Introduce yourself. Tell us briefly about your company or your organization. If you aren't an entrepreneur and you work for an organization that supports entrepreneurs, that's some of the folks that are here too. That's awesome. Tell us briefly about your organization. And then, you know, the big question we always ask is, what can you as a community, what can we as a community do for you to help your company or your organization? Well, I'd like to ask that of each of you today. So wrap up your talk with, what could the community do to help your company or organization? And try to go beyond the, hey, just help me get the word out, right? Think about the kinds of things that we hope for when we're listening to presenters. You know, what kinds of things are structurally going on that maybe somebody else could help you with. Looking for marketing help, looking for help with staffing, looking for help with time management, you know, it could be something like that. What are you struggling with in your position that maybe somebody else could help you with? And we all have stuff that we're trying to figure out. Time management's a big one for me. So let's go in alphabetical order by name. Let's see. Looking at the people with names that start with A, we got Ashley and Anders look like our A names. So Anders, I think you would kick us off if you wouldn't mind.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Great. So yeah, my name's Anders Rydholm, and I own a company called Primetime Web. It's a digital media agency. We focus on web design, marketing, and advertising. And you know, one of the things that our business does to try to get involved in the community is we do, you know, I've done a handful of free website designs for people that are active in arts. I think that arts is a big part of the community. You know, a few of the ones that I've done recently, True Facade Pictures website just launched last week. If anybody's familiar with them, they do a lot of good work. Musicians, Ocho, a local musician who's multi-talented. He's a real artist and has done a lot of good for the community too. And working currently with Melissa Ketchum, who was on the board of directors at Twin Rivers Council for the Arts on a couple of her businesses. And if anybody doesn't know Melissa, she hosted she planned the Starving Artists Under the Bridge event, if anybody attended that. So that's one of the things I try to do to help those businesses, you know, get their marketing and spread the word out. So, you know, things that anyone could do in our community is to, I would say, become an affiliate of Twin Rivers Council for the Arts. I did that, recently, and I think that's a good place to start. And then also just supporting your other local businesses.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks, Andrews. Great way to kick us off. And could you tell us the name of your business one more time? I didn't catch it.
Yep, it's Primetime Web.
Primetime Web. Awesome. Cool. Ashley.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys see me? My computer is being really
Yes.
great now. Can you see me? Perfect. So my name is Ashley Rader, and we own a business called Ruby Ranch Barn. We are located right outside of Mankato. Technically, we're on the Waseca County line, so if you guys know like where Indian Island Winery is, we're right down the road from them. So we started about 4 years ago. And our main focus is I'm a teacher by trade, so I still teach in the Mankato Public Schools. But we open primarily to offer kids camps out on our property in the summer. So we have an art studio where we do ceramics, wood signs, canvas paintings, wooden craft building, and then we offer kids camps. And so every summer we employ 5 teachers from the Mankato district, and then we usually offer about 30 kids a camp. And they're all mostly outdoor camps. Some of them are art camps. We do like a bugs and bee camps where they get to get bee suits and go in the beehives. We do wild and free where they do archery, things like that. So we try to get kids outside as much as possible, and we teach them new tricks and trades that they'll hopefully go back into their own backyard or to their parks, and get kids outside more is our whole emphasis. So we also try to, with COVID and everything happening, we had to shut down all of our camps in, I would say it was maybe beginning of April, we shut them all down. And then we had to, Governor Walz says now you can offer kids camps. So I shut them all down and then relaunched 8 brand new camps at 50% capacity. So rather than offering week-long camps, we're now offering one-day camps with 15 kids. So it's been a weird season. And then we also now offer like make and take to-go kits. So all of March and all of April, we were really busy. We offered like to-go kits with ceramics, and we did family kits where they could make like pizza plates and buy pizzas. We're going to partner with, we'll set that up again if we end up going back into quarantine, but we were going to partner with Wooden Spoon to do like cookie kits where they could do measuring cups and decorate their own cookies. So we're trying to really partner with a lot of businesses that are also local to try to get other business names out as well. So we also went nonprofit just for our kids camps February 5th. So I think a big thing that we're looking for right now is just obviously right now, grant-wise, a lot of businesses and a lot of companies use their grant money to help businesses and things that were like food and shelters and things like that. So any guidance that people can give us around grants or people that can help get us on our feet, since we are only at 50% capacity, we're only open seasonally. So any help that we can get with that would be really great, because this is kind of our main season, and since we're operating at 50%, we'll take any help that we can get with that.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about the Ruby Ranch farm. That was fascinating. And I might have some help for you.
That'd be great. Thank you.
So as everybody's listening, if you know of some way to help the person as they reach out, feel free to reach out to them privately with chat, or, put a public chat out there. And we also can take some time when we're all done, if we have a little extra time, for people just to share verbally too. But feel free to use chat to reach out to the person and drop them a note if you know of some way to help out. Bobby, you're up next. Here, I'll ask you to unmute. You go ahead and unmute, Bobby, whenever you're ready.
How about that?
Here, we got you.
Am I on now?
You were on.
Thank you.
Live.
Okay. My name is Bobby Drengler, and I've been in the entertainment business all my life, and mostly in recording. I was responsible probably for the first recording studio here in Mankato through the mid 60s through the 70s, and built a studio in Mankato in the late 80s and turned into two fish recording studios, and branched out into film and did other things right now. And I've had a very, very interesting, wonderful life and still doing it. And I'm proud to announce that we're doing a major motion picture production in North Dakota this next 2 years. And I'll have more to say about that. But anybody in the entertainment business that wishes to branch out into, like, say, a media kind of motion with videos or with recording studio processing, I have contacts all over the world, so to speak, so you can get placed and enjoy yourself in an industry that is full of wonderful people.
Awesome. Thanks, Bobby. So your ask is that if someone needs help with recording, that they could contact you?
Right. If somebody is interested in needing help in the industry and recording or even in filmmaking, I have a contact resource that's available.
Awesome. All right, next up, Erin.
Okay. Hi, good morning. I am Erin Berry, and my business is Live Your Truth Seminars. So I am a life coach, and I focus in on women and creating the life that they really want. So, women that are journeying on their own path, and then I help guide and empower them so that they can live a fulfilling life of their dreams and desires. I do still work a 9 to 5, and I also speak. So I do life coaching and speaking, and the life coaching is something that I just started really zoning in on and focusing on this year. So I'm creating a program right now so that I can offer a program that's something that clients would get a weekly email and an activity. And then also with that, they will get coaching sessions with me. So it will be a hybrid type of a coaching situation. So I'm working on that, and I'm not quite sure when my launch will be, because in the middle of all of this, I realized how little time I've been spending on the business side of my business, because I enjoy that creating and the connecting. And so now I have to zone in, and I'm really creating my marketing plan and working with that. I'm actually working with the SBDC mentor with all of that. But I decided that while I'm focusing on coaching now, I'm also kind of rebranding my company. So I've recently changed my name to Live Your Truth Journey. So I have not made all of that change public yet. So I'm doing that and updating my brand, updating my website. So I've got a lot going on right now. So I'm not even quite sure what my ask is right now, because I'm just busy. I kind of feel like I'm just starting, from starting a new business almost. So, so yeah, it's good. It's exciting.
It sounds like it. It sounds like
Yeah.
you've been busy. How are you doing with all the marketing stuff?
It is overwhelming. It's good, but overwhelming. I'm just really realizing what I need to do and really haven't quite taken the action to do it yet. So
Let's see. Awesome. Thanks, Erin.
yeah, thanks.
Alphabetically, I think next it's Gary. think you're up, Gary.
Hey, yes, good morning. As I noted, I'm one of the organizers, so I'll keep mine brief. Most of my work is with the Small Business Development Center as a consultant, more in a generalist role, and helping entrepreneurs kind of get focused. And then in particular, even though I'm somewhat of a newbie in the scheme of things to the area, just getting here in 2014, connect people to resources and other people. So that's my main thing. I'll defer. We have other consultants on the line, plus Mike Hahn, the Executive Director of Small Business Development. He can get in more detail and go online and check out the SBDC, a great resource. Also a volunteer for SCORE, and we are fortunate Wendell is online, that he's the chair of the local chapter, and Julie is online, that is also a volunteer, can tell you more about SCORE. Take advantage there. So from my end, I think as a community, trying to just help people get connected to other resources and let them know that they're not alone, and is probably what I would ask of everybody online here, is use your network. And even though you may not have the answer, as Erin was talking about her need for marketing, try to connect somebody to a resource or person that might be helpful. And I guess the last thing too, I should add, as the on-the-road person, that we're trying to really build this regional, not just Mankato, North Mankato, is look for other entrepreneurs out there and try to connect them on 1 million cups and encourage them to attend just as you're attending, but also if they are in that beginning stages of under 5 years, to consider to present here, not as a sales pitch, but to get feedback and get plugged in the 1 million cups network. So that would be a request for everybody to help here in line to get the word out. Thanks.
Thanks, Gary. Jill is here. Jill, you're up next. Basically what we're doing is what's on the screen, introducing ourselves, telling a little bit about our company or organization, and then kind of asking the classic 1 million cups question: what can the community do to help you in your role?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jill Crush. I'm a program coordinator at the Small Business Development Center. It's hosted at Minnesota State University, Mankato. And so the Small Business Development Center is funded through the SBA, DEED, along with support from the university and other regional partners. So through a network of consultants, we offer professional, no-cost services to help businesses starting up, or also when they're in business. It's been a very busy time with everything happening with COVID. So I guess I would say, you know, if you need help, if it's a good fit for your organization, feel free to reach out. I can put the website in the chat. You apply for services, we can connect you with a consultant, or if you know of anyone else in the community that is struggling or that they are looking to start a new business, if you want to refer us to them.
MyMinnesotaBusiness.com, right?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. I had it all typed out and then I went, is it .com or .org?
Thank you.
That's great. But you also have another role. You're working with Launch Minnesota. I think that's really cool too. Can you tell them what that is?
Sure, absolutely. So it's a relatively new initiative through the state of Minnesota, and Launch Minnesota has a handful of regions, regional hubs, and the university is one of the regional hubs for our area. We're the only university that is a regional hub, and then the University of Minnesota is a statewide partner. So with that, they really are focused on technology, innovation, launching new innovative businesses in Minnesota, and just really creating a network so that people don't have to reinvent the wheel. They know where to go for resources. They do have some grants available on their site. It varies, and they have a certain amount that go to the metro area, and then the rest is the outer lying regions. And so they always make sure that they disperse the funds. So if you're looking for information on that, I'll have to look at that. I wonder if it's launchminnesota.gov or something. But it's a relatively new process, but it's really just trying to connect people within the region with the resources available. And if we're able to attract more innovation, And really, everyone now has had to look at how they can innovate and respond with COVID, and maybe they have to get things more online, or they're looking at a different business model. So there's lots of opportunities there, but there are ongoing grant opportunities through them listed on their site.
Awesome. Thanks, Jill. Jim Whitlock, you're up next.
Good morning, everyone. I didn't know if I was going to be recognized or not. I have not won the cup yet. So just thought I'd throw that in there.
The coveted cup.
The coveted cup. I love it. Say, well, I've got a lot of oars in the water, and I've had them in the water for about 40 years. I'm a graduate of Mankato State University in sociology and history. I'm the owner of Brickhouse Graphics for the last 35 years down here at Belgrade Avenue. I created the Business on Belgrade Association about 16 years ago. I started that. Belgrade Avenue to me was looking like, and I use the phrase rats and weeds, and I wanted to do something with it down here just to make it more attractive to people to come down here. And that kind of started the whole thing. That was before texting or emailing or anything. It forced me to go around and walk into businesses and introduce myself. And the one thing I was looking for, I wasn't looking for money or anything or financial support to get something going. I said, if I could get something going, could I count on you for support to join up? And a majority of the people said yes. There were a few businesses down here said absolutely not. One was, we've tried it before, it doesn't work. And I said, do you mind if I try it? And they said, go ahead. And that was one of the oldest businesses down here. I'd rather not name them, but after I got it off of the ground, they were one of the biggest supporters that we had financially, putting in time and help to start the events. We didn't know where we were going for about the first 4 years. I really gained no traction with it at all for the first 4 years. And come about 2009, we were having like semi-annual meetings, and there was Dell's Bakery, and then Dell's Bakery was gone, and then Christie's Cafe came in. So we were having a luncheon there, and I was walking down to there to hold this meeting, and Pat Pearson from Dino's and Number 4 and Flask and came walking out of the post office. And I said, Pat, I said, are you going to the meeting? And he said, yes, I am. And I said, Pat, I'm really afraid if I don't bring these people something today, I'm going to lose them. We need to give them something concrete. And Pat said, you know, there's that little lot back there behind the Circle Inn, that gravel lot. Maybe we should put on a little concert for people that are our customers. A thank you for coming down and patronizing us down here. And I thought it was a great idea. So anyway, we walked into this meeting, and I got up in front and I just said, Pat Pearson and I have been discussing this for a while, and I think we hit on something. And so somebody raised their hand and said, well, this will be a family event. And I said, absolutely. Somebody else raised their hand, somebody else raised their hand and donated time and energy to help put it on. And what we walked away from that day of 2009 was engaged people in the business community that said, you know what, I'll put together the children's events. I'll put together, we should have t-shirts. Somebody went out and found the t-shirts, and got them printed up. And we didn't have a budget. We didn't know where we were going. We didn't have a checking account or anything. The city of North Mankato said, look, we'll pay for the bands. You pay us back after you collect some money from sponsorship. So that was the way we tackled it. And that was the first Blues on Belgrade. Yeah, back then it was called Belgrade Avenue Blues and Jazz Festival. And then it became the Blues on Belgrade. And following that, we tried to have everything follow Blues on Belgrade. So we started booking on Belgrade, which involved the library and reading competition for children, plus a 5K run. Then we had the beer on Belgrade, and trying to think of that. Well, and then Bells on Belgrade, and that was for the children. And we put those 4 things together, and then, boy, a couple of years later, I'd been after Larry Wild, who has Cato Glass, and he was the organizer of the Anthony Ford Pond Hockey. And they had that out at Lake Washington. And they saw their numbers dwindle every year. And I said to Larry, who's an old fraternity brother of mine from college, I said, Larry, I've got a beautiful place for your group down on Spring Lake Park. Would you consider bringing it down there? And about a year and a half later, he said yes. Since he brought that down to Spring Lake Park, I call it the Norman Rockwell-esque setting of beautiful Lower North Mankato. The Anthony Ford Pond Hockey Classic. And since then, we have now built 2 hockey rinks down there, a new warming house. The money that Anthony Ford has raised, they put in over 50,000 themselves, matched by a grant from the Mankato Foundation of 50,000. They put in $100,000 into that new warming house down there, which then sparked the creation of the new swimming pool down there. So it's kind of a tumbling effect. And let me just go on here. The co-creator of the Connecting Commerce Business Group, which has just taken off this year. I was the past director of the business development and retention.
Hey, Jim, we're going to have you wrap up, so we have time for everybody else. What's your ask? How can the community help you? Sorry.
45 minutes. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Anyway, that's just some of the hats that I've carried. I'm on the city council now in my 4th year in North Mankato.
You're amazing. We're so happy that you're in 1 Million Cups. The wealth of network and knowledge and experience and history that you have is incredible. Thank you so much. If you have an ask for the community, go ahead and put that into chat. Or if anybody has any connection they want to make to Jim, go ahead. And Joe, you're up next.
Sure. Joe Shremka from the city of Springfield, city manager and EDA director. So we have been helping a lot of our businesses with emergency small business loans, with the COVID crisis going on for us. And we've been looking at other funding opportunities for PPE and gloves and hand sanitizer and things like that to kind of help mitigate some of that spread, and mostly catered out to the salons and the restaurants that were kind of impacted the most in our small town. But for us, it's a lot of kind of strategizing and planning of how do we do succession planning with a lot of rural ag and business owners, in whether it be a meat market or anything like that, where just having that level of succession planning and foresight of, hey, I want to retire and looking for my next handoff, and whether it be an entrepreneur or anybody interested in carrying the torch, it's things like that that we're always looking for, building that bridge to help keep the business in town and keep it growing.
It's actually something I've talked to my students a lot about, and my entrepreneurial students. You know, you could start your own thing from scratch, or, you know, maybe find somebody who wants to retire and go apprentice with them, you know?
Could I ask what town is Joe from? I didn't catch that.
City of Springfield.
Springfield, thank you.
So your ask, Joe, is if somebody's interested in starting up something fresh and new, that they should contact you and see who might be wanting to retire in Springfield?
100%.
Okay. Awesome. Next, Julie.
Good morning. I'm Julie Fredrickson. I own J. Frey Consulting. I was born and raised around here. Grew up in Madison Lake, and like Bobby, got started kind of in the entertainment industry. My friends and I would book the American Legion down on, is it Second down there, and book our friends to play and make the posters and plaster the town, the telephone poles. That dates me a little bit. But we had fun that way, and I ended up in college in music business audio production. When I got out of my associate's degree, I started working for The River in what is now Mix 99.1 in town as a DJ and doing promotions and events. So fast forward a few years, I ended up in EMS. I was an EMT for several years. I met my husband that way. We started having kids. I obviously was always busy. And as we started having kids, I realized I couldn't leave these little ones at a daycare. So I had quite a background in marketing. So I finally kind of jumped in and launched with it. J. Frey Consulting is a media relations company. So we do primarily social media management for small businesses, but we also do digital marketing and advertising and consulting. So really my ultimate goal with the business is to employ people like me who would like to be able to work a flexible job at home and be able to raise their small children at the same time. I really enjoy having employees that can also do that. So I really hope to build the business, but so that kind of comes to the last question there. Clients is obviously what we need to grow. I right now do a lot of volunteer work. I work with obviously 1 Million Cups. I volunteer with SCORE. I'm an ambassador with BNI, so I really enjoy supporting the entrepreneurial community. So services that we provide, we can do consulting for startups. We can do social media management for the company that can afford that level of marketing. But even just the connection with other entrepreneurs, so we can support them some way or get them connected to others. I am kind of a networking butterfly, I refer myself as. So I love to make connections and just get to know people. So one-to-ones, I guess, is my ultimate ask.
Thanks so much, Julie. Mark.
Good morning. Mark Meyer from Cedar Inn in Blue Earth, Minnesota. We started the Cedar Inn about 5 years ago now. We're coming up on our 5th season we're in, and it was a 50s drive-in, a drive-in restaurant that had been in operation for about 50 years and then shut down. When my wife and I came upon it, it was closed for about 4 years. I was looking for a new opportunity, 30 some years in the restaurant business, and this just really spoke to me. We lived here, we cared about the town, and we needed to bring it back to life. The town was kind of hungry for some new food, some new place to hang out. And so we opened in 2016, and it's just been a whole lot of fun ever since. So we sell burgers and hot dogs and fries and typical drive-in food. We try and have a little modern twist on it. We have car hops that run to the cars with iPads. We freshen the whole place up. There's new cement, new paint, and some new equipment everywhere. We also, have a car wash in the backyard. That's a sideline that keeps them busy in the winter. We sell Christmas trees in November and December. But the main business is the drive-in. We're open about 7.5 months a year, and just have a whole bunch of fun there. Ice cream, Dole Whip, and a whole bunch of food. So my ask, I don't have a lot to ask. I'm in Blue Earth. I know I'm a ways from most of you. So my ask is, when you're in the neighborhood, stop by, say hi, see us, like our Facebook page, leave a review. I think everyone, understands that the networking and the community is what can grow your business. And being in the fifth year, we've seen growth every year. Even in this year of craziness, we've seen some growth, and we just want to keep moving ahead and stay open for our community.
Hey, Yvonne, Gary here. Just let me interrupt and just remind everybody and Mark that On the Road is featuring Blue Earth August 12th. August 12th. So we'll be looking for Blue Earth presenters. So Mark, reach out. I think it's Annie. Mary Kennedy used to be the economic development person. They're having a new person. Reach out to them if you haven't already and talk to them. So interesting to hear about you, and love to you consider to apply to be one of the Blue Earth reps or some other time. Doesn't have to be on the August 12th. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, thank you. I'm actually kind of part of the group that is working on that on our Rev committee, and trying to find enough people to apply for it. I haven't thought about it, but I'll give it some thought here.
Yeah, you should present yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you got some good ideas there. That's all right.
Yeah.
Right,
my folks and I ran a couple of little drive-in type restaurants in high school. I'd be fascinated to like see your place. One of the things that was really fun when we had the pizza ranch was when she took her phone and she kind of showed us around. You could show us the business and entice people down to Blue Earth. I accidentally skipped Mike and Matt. So sorry. So Mike Hahn, go ahead. You're next.
Oh, no problem, Yvonne. And Mark, I have been to your places several times. My wife's hometown is Algona, Iowa, so that's kind of the halfway place. And we've stopped there on many occasions to get ice cream and burgers, and then just got great fries as well. So we've enjoyed ourselves on our way through Blue Earth. But good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Hahn. I'm the Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center, commonly referred to as the SBDC. Jill kind of gave you an overview as far as the SBDC earlier. We're an organization that have been around since the 1980s. There's 1,000 of us across U.S. states and territories. Many are hosted within educational institutions like Minnesota State University, Mankato. And basically, our focus is to help stimulate and work with small businesses so that we can help facilitate their growth throughout our communities. And we do that basically by being a wide, diverse clearinghouse of different information, different types of programs, what's latest and greatest in business. COVID-19 is really something that we've been working on for the past few months, as everybody can know. A lot of finance triage, the EIDL program, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, which was out there for the SBA. That's still out there, but one thing I like to point out is that the Payroll Protection Program has been extended. There's still $135 billion in that program. So I would recommend that if you still need help as a small business, that's something to look at if you have not looked at that. Plus, there's been some other programs that have been set aside from the state of Minnesota. Also, my hat's off to local communities like Springfield, like Joe, that have set together some local programs of local funding to help small businesses. And I think at this time, what we like to do is just, if you are a small business or if you know a small business owner that's struggling, have them contact us. Our services are free of charge because we are supported by the community, by the SBA, and also by the state of Minnesota. So Jill had our website up earlier. It's myminnesotabusiness.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us in these days and times. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Matt, go ahead. You're next.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
We can.
All right. My name is Matt Schindel. I'm the general manager for Ream Kenworth in Mankato. We're celebrating our 9th month in the Mankato community as a new and used truck dealership. For those of you that don't know Ream, we've been around the state of Minnesota and are a family-owned and operated company. Started in 1932 in St. Paul. We've got 7 dealerships that cover the entire state of Minnesota, and we're currently in 3rd generation ownership with Carrie Ream. So we're we're under female ownership, which is fun, and I'm proud to be a part of that. Our main business is new and used trucks. We sell medium duty and Class 8 trucks. So anything from local delivery vans to over the road trucks carrying product to California. We do a lot with full service dealership. So we've got the service department and the parts department can focus on all makes and models of trucks. I guess our goal as a dealership is to provide an exceptional experience for all of our customers and employees. Unfortunately, COVID's made it a bit of a challenge for us being new in the community. Some people know the brand and bring their trucks here because that's what they own today. But others are, staying where they're comfortable. And I think the current world that we live in, per se, is driving that a little bit. I guess I don't really have an ask for the group right now. I'm just looking for ways to network, get our business name out there. I guess I kind of see myself as an entrepreneur in a way. We do have a corporate office, but the Mankato branch and the outlying branches really are allowed to run themselves and to deliver an experience that fits the market that we're in. So it's fun to be a part of that, but also challenging to grow a new business in the community. So thanks for listening to me, and I appreciate hearing everything you guys have to say.
Well, thanks, Matt. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. I think this is a great, I'm really glad that we're doing this, that we get a chance to meet you and hear about your business. Cool. Let's see, we heard from Ruby Ranch already, right? So Sarah would be up next.
Awesome. Hi, guys. Sarah Hansen here with Functional Chiropractic Rehab. My husband and I had opened the office here May 4th, so we're pretty new in Mankato. We're located just up by Panera Bread, TJ Maxx in the Mankato Heights Plaza. A little bit about our company. We are a different style of chiropractic. We tend to focus a lot on rehab aspects of it. So if you're hurting at work, your main complaint when you come in is something to do with that, we try to give you exercises or things to take home that you could do. So while you're working, you could do those instead of sitting there in pain and having to leave work to go see a chiropractor or whoever you're seeing. So that's kind of one of our main focuses, is we want to give you something to do and be proactive about your pain when it happens. I am really looking to get connected with some other medical professionals. So if you guys know any medical doctors, nurse practitioners, anyone who works in Mayo Clinic, Mankato Clinic, or even OFC, or if you guys know like any HR people, head of departments of any kind of business that want to give their employees like free stretches or things to do at work, we are looking to go into businesses and even just doing like a 10-15 minute presentation at like a monthly meeting for businesses. And we're just going to give you some free content so your employees can feel better at work. You can have 2 employees, you can have 200 employees, we can do anything. So if you guys know any of those medical professionals, again, HR individuals, department heads at any kind of place, it could be the college, the city, it could be a retail store, anything like that. If you wouldn't mind getting me connected with them, either if you can like include both of us on a text together or an email or something like that, I would really appreciate it. I'll put my information in chat, and that is all that I have. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome, thank you. All right, next up is Tammy.
Hey everyone. So just to give you an idea real quick, after spending 30 years in human resources in the corporate world between retail and manufacturers and helping in multiple stores and states, I presented my idea for small business HR to some of the top PEOs in the cities in Minneapolis to try and come up with a small business package that was affordable. And they said there was no money in it. So after 30 years then in HR myself, I decided to open up my own HR consulting business. And that is what I'm doing. So I help with everything for small businesses as far as any stage in their life. So if it's starting up, their first employee, all the way until if they're growing and expanding. I help with development. COVID-19, I've been doing Zoom meetings with businesses, whether they be CEOs, HR, et cetera, where they just come on and any questions they have for COVID-19 on the people's side, their preparedness plans, all of those things. I've been educating everyone on the executive orders as they get updated, Department of Labor, OSHA, et cetera. And so I've just been there to help out small businesses, and I've been doing that. It's a free service that I've been doing. They were weekly, and now in July, we've just moved those to every other week. But other things that I help with as well is compliance training. I happen to enjoy employment law, and so I am certified in HR compliance, and so I enjoy doing the employee handbook and the policies and making those right. So I save companies money before they go to the attorney. So I help them develop, and then they can have it reviewed if they would like. So what I need is just simply, because I have a passion for helping small businesses, is just to get the word out that I am available. There's nobody else in the area that offers it. So just let them know that there is somebody here to help them. And that would be Extended HR.
Thanks, Tammy. Tanya.
Hi, Tanya Deutscher from the Visual Identity Vault. We are in Fairmont, Minnesota. And until a couple weeks ago, we also owned For the Team in St. Peter. Because of a health crisis with my husband, COVID, and a whole lot of other things, we closed our St. Peter store down, and we now have an office in Mogwai. We do graphic design, screen printing, embroidery, signs, banners, promotional products, and this is the year, we say, of the pause and pivot and opportunity. We used to do mainly things with schools. There's big companies that have swooped in and have signed contracts with the schools, so small businesses like us have gotten cut out of that equation. So we've pivoted to do more business to business. With having a sales manager in Mankato now, we can offer more personalized service. Your brand is important to us. Sure, you can get your cards through Vistaprint, but if something goes wrong, you're going to be talking to an 800 number that they really don't care. We care. We like to put out a quality product. We're heavily involved in B&I. The biggest ask for me is just networking opportunities in Mankato. Until this year, I was happy to be behind the scenes and not talk to anyone. And with my husband's heart attack in January, I've had to step up and get out of my comfort zone and put myself out there. So that's kind of what I need right now, is just more opportunities to connect for me and for Angie Francis, our sales manager, and to like us on Facebook, the Visual Identity Vault.
Awesome, thanks very much. And last but not least, Wendell from SCORE.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone. I'm chapter chair for South Central Minnesota SCORE chapter, and probably know me from previous 1 Million Cups meetings, and I would guess that many of you are familiar with the SCORE organization, so I won't get into a lot of details of that, but it's an organization that was created in 1962, it's 58 years old. Its mission then, and still is today, to build vibrant small businesses through mentoring and education. We currently have a network of over 10,000 volunteers and about 300 chapters throughout the United States. Here in Minnesota, we have 6 chapters, including our own, South Central Minnesota. And we cover the counties of Blue Earth, Faribault, Freeborn, Nicollet, Rice, Steele, and Waseca. So we're kind of right down the middle. We have what we call local links, or branches, in each of the larger communities in this region. Oftentimes they're chambers of commerce. In Mankato, it's a greater Mankato growth. So a good share of our budget is just paying for membership dues to these organizations. And we're hopefully able to help them out, and they're able to help us out. Our mission is quite similar there. Rather than go into a lot of detail of all the resources that SCORE offers for supporting entrepreneurs, I thought I would quickly list what our core values are in SCORE. First of all, our clients matter. Our client success is our success, so that's our main goal. Small business matters. They drive the national economy, as all of us know, through the formation of creation of jobs and building of wealth. Giving back matters. It allows our volunteers and stakeholders and sponsors to give back to their community. Volunteers matter. They are the ones that give freely of their time, energy, and knowledge to mentors and others. And should mention that not only are volunteers mentors, but there's other opportunities if could be subject matter experts, workshop presenters, and administrative personnel for our chapter activities. Experience matters. Our volunteers, of course, have relevant knowledge, wisdom, and experience to serve their clients well in mentorship and education. Relationships matter. Our volunteers pledge to act with integrity, respect, honesty, purpose, and professionalism in developing long-term relationships between themselves and the business owners. Our tagline on our logo is "for the life of your business." So we can mentor just one question, or we can develop a relationship over time for the life of your business. Diversity matters. After presentations a couple of weeks ago, I think we recognized the importance of diversity. The national organization has a diversity and inclusion initiative, which they're reaching out to those that are underserved in the business community, and we continue to do that. Personally, I've had 4 or 5 mentees from the Somali and Sudanese population. And the final one, lifelong learning matters. I think all of us agree that the importance of lifelong learning as a business owner and as volunteers, so that we remain relevant to achieve personal satisfaction. Then this is the ask. And first of all, I'll have kind of a broader question is, do your passions and values align with those of SCORE? Do you see the value of serving clients to achieve business success? Do you believe that small businesses are the lifeblood of our community? Do you feel an obligation to give back to your community? Then is volunteerism part of your DNA? Do you have business experience or an entrepreneurial mindset? Do you value the importance of developing long-range relationships? And do you have a heartfelt passion to serve those recognized and underserved members of our business community? And are you passionate about lifelong learning? And when I joined SCORE about 5 years ago, I had some of these thoughts in mind, but as I look back, I realized that almost all 8 of these pillars, if you will, are part of my makeup, my personality, my psyche, and they're still important to me, and they're become more important. So if you recognize any of these traits and want to contribute,
Well, thank you so much, Wendell. I think we need to wrap up with our dice roll. We're a little over time. So thank you, everybody. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope that you did too. I feel like I've gotten to know you a little bit better. Have met some new people that I hadn't met before. We don't have very many opportunities to network with this COVID thing, and this has been a good opportunity. We may do this again if everybody thinks it's